So today, this is session 14 we are covering today. So we'll be covering storefront APIs and commerce adapters. Now before starting, we'll move to this part that how many of you are new to this series? Do we have anyone? Yes, we have a couple of people, I suppose. And then, okay. So how many of you are currently working on B2B? Do we have some? Okay, only one. Okay, then uh, do we have someone here who is following up with the series? We have started this series way back. Now we are on this session 14. So do we have anyone who watch our series or have a continuous uh, continue with us to know that what we are doing here? Do we have someone so that we can relevant to the session that what we are doing here? We are transferring the knowledge for B2B Commerce Cloud, that how we are configuring B2B, and we started this series way back, and this is, I suppose, this will be the last session for this series. So I just want to know that how many people are available there that currently know that what B2B is and why we are covering this series, giving this knowledge, and we are almost at the last session of this B2B. Do we have some? All are new. Okay, so just let me know how you all will gonna know that how you gonna understand about this B2B, because we are on the last session as of now. How you gonna understand that what do we have covered in the session, and how do you gonna understand this topic that we're gonna cover today? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just recap in a quick set what B2B is and what why we are covering this B2B Commerce Cloud. So I suppose that everyone know about Salesforce here. Okay, how many of you are as a Salesforce admin here? Okay, and all of the rest of the all other developers, testers. Oh, great. Okay, so basically, what B2B Commerce Cloud is, Salesforce offers different variety of clouds. Okay, B2B is one of the Salesforce cloud only. B2B Commerce Cloud, as the name specify, Commerce Cloud. We are selling something here. Like now, B2B, what B2B refers here? B2B is business to business. We are doing this business to business. They are different clouds, B2C, D2C. This one is B2B, means business to business. We are selling the products from a business to a business. So what B2B do? This gives us give us a platform on which we'll publish our products. We can create the buyers. If we have the audience, just like Flipkarts, we have the different stores available in the markets, just like Flipkart, Amazon, that they are doing. They are the e-commerce platforms. Like that only, we have this cloud B2B commerce. So this majorly is used for the selling purpose only. Now, how this is gonna configure, how Salesforce is helping us in the B2B commerce. Now, what Salesforce is doing? Salesforce is like a CRM. We all know that Salesforce is a CRM and we are using it as a database and as a CRM for customer relations. Now, Salesforce offers this B2B Commerce Cloud, in which we use Salesforce as a database. We store the data, we store the products, or else we can use the third party also. If we have the third party, we can store our products there. So we are using Salesforce as a base for us. We are using Salesforce as a UI part for us. We create a domain just like we create for the another sites. This is a web page. We'll create a web page. We can create an app also for this one. So now, if I quickly recall for the sessions that we have covered in the B2B series, is like the first we started with the what B2B is and why we want to use the B2B is. Okay, the second one we started with the how to set up the Salesforce org. Now we are using Salesforce, so there are some different configuration we do need to have in Salesforce majorly to use the commerce part. So in Salesforce, we refer this as commerce. We have a commerce app, a complete app which will guide you how to set up the proper commerce app and how to use every object. There are separate objects for B2B commerce like order summaries and everything. We have the product variations, and there are many different things which we already covered for this. Now, if I go through with this today's session, that is Storefront APIs. Now, how many of you understand with the word of API? I suppose many of us. Okay, so what basically Storefront APIs are and what commerce adapters are, we're gonna cover in this session. Okay, a quickly introduction. My name is Manik Mittal and I'm working as a senior software engineer at Tech Mahindra. I am a 3x Salesforce certified with platform development certification and Salesforce associate as well. Once can reach out to me this LinkedIn profile. Okay, So these are the topics we're gonna cover for this session. The first one will be again with the major topic for us, the storefront APIs. The second will be the what are the advantages that why we are using in B2B commerce, why we are using this. Then there will be an imperative APIs and wire adapters, and I'll give you a short demo that how we are configuring this storefront APIs and our B2B commerce cloud. Okay, so let's start with the storefront APIs. So before starting, I suppose that ones who are using the B2B Commerce Cloud know about the LWR templates and the Aura templates. Currently in Salesforce, we are not using the Aura template because this is an outdated word, and we are using the new feature which is LWR templates. So LWR templates are nothing but in Salesforce, when we are create a site for ourselves, we have to choose one template. So that will be for B2B site. We majorly choose this LWR template, which is completely configurable, and we can use as our requirement. Okay, so B2B stores, these storefront APIs basically work with only with the LWR templates, not with the Aura templates. If we have some previous Aura templates, these storefront APIs will not work with the Aura templates. It will only work with the LWR templates. So what storefront APIs are doing, like suppose in this B2B cloud, for adding a product to a cart and placing an order is totally customized and totally configurable. When you use a B2B site, you will have pre-built functionality what Salesforce offers us. Salesforce give us every platform and every button on the every page layout we have will be having pre-built. So when we create a site and we start listing our products, we'll have the buttons, we'll have everything on the site pre-built. We do not have to configure much. But now let's suppose we have a client who comes up with a requirement that he needs something to be configurable or customizable. That everything needs to be like, if I click on this button, this order got placed. Majorly what our own focus is to place an order in this B2B. We'll focus on how to place an order because we have to purchase something from the commerce site. The last goal of the B2B commerce is to sell something. So how these APIs are using, how we are using this API basically. If you have gone through with the Salesforce org, when you go on the placing an order and adding something into a card, if you are adding something into a card, you will have some buttons pre-built. Now let's suppose I don't want to use that buttons majorly from there. I want to create my own. How are we gonna do that? We can do that from the Apex, from the LWC side. We can create our own button. We can configure. We can write the code in LWC. We can do that from as per we need. Now, but that will be a long process again because we have to include the Apex also in that part. And now, whenever we include the Apex, it will always consume more time to execute the process. So that will again doubt on the working of the site. We always want the site who will work faster. We need the faster response in our site. So how we gonna implement that? We use these storefront APIs. These are nothing but these APIs. We have some adapters. These adapters will give us a certain promise. When we use these adapters, we create something. We use these APIs. These APIs are nothing but it will connect to our store first in the commerce app. It will connect to the store and return the data in the JavaScript only. We do not need to use the Apex or something. We can execute the same thing in the LWC part. So if I go through the definition, what it says that B2B stores built with LWR templates support storefront APIs that help you to build custom lightning web components. Okay, so we can include anything in that storefront API. Either we want to create the header, we want to create the footer, or we want to create the banners also. Now, header and footer, we are familiar with the what are header and footers in B2B. Majorly in the what header and footers are for every site, we configure what will be the header for rest of the pages and what will be the footer. So if you want to use some extra button on the header and footer, we can configure from here, from the storefront APIs basically. Now, storefront API simplify LWC creation and help integrate components into larger page context. So here we can see a diagram. Basically here, what basically a storefront API is, how this is working. So first layer is basically the lightning web components. We have one lightning web component. We have the REST APIs. Now how this storefront APIs is working actually in the backend. So on the lightning web components, when we implement these storefront API actions, we have a state management layer. Now, what this state management layer is do? Let's suppose if I give you an example, I want to add a product in a cart, but I want to do this as a customized part. I do not want to use any pre-built functionality. So how we going to use this as to using a storefront API and what will be the use of this one? So now let's suppose I created one input field and created one button to place an order or to add to cart. So when I write the product name, SKU unit, or something relevant to the product, I use this to get the result for the product. I'll use that product and click on, when I click on the add to cart button, what Storefront APIs do when we implement this in the backend. So adding that product to the cart, and you see, the cart item, cart image that on the B2B site. So whenever you add something in the cart, it will rectify as one, two, how many items we do have. So with the help of this storefront API, we do not have to configure this part. Whenever we add something in the cart, it will automatically populate the cart items to one, two, three, four. We do not have to do anything for that. We just have to write simply for the button functionality. We'll use one API which will add the product and also change the icon and then add the product to your cart. Okay. Now, obviously, we have some advantages for using the storefront APIs. That there will be security, performance, convenience, UI convenience. These are some advantages. We'll understand more on this one when we see a demo, because these are the some advantages listed below. The same it will follow. It will give you the security. It will give you the performance. That's why we are using this. Okay. Moving forward. Now there are some imperative APIs. Now these storefront APIs basically divided into some parts like imperative APIs, wire adapters, and callout actions. Now what these APIs basically do, we have certain different APIs who will get you the data and someone will post the data. Now getting the data, we'll use the wire adapters basically. What imperative APIs are, major function of the imperative API is to call the API connect method that will post, put, batch. We can add the order, we can modify the order, we can delete the items from the cart. We can do that from the APIs. These are the some different version of the storefront APIs like imperative, wire adapters, and the other one is connect APIs. Okay, so wire adapters, I get to do this one. The wire adapter specify a get call only. Now I want to get my product into cart, or I want to I want to know about the product information basically. So how am I going to use that? Like suppose I have a requirement on some page, I want to get all the products information. So I can use this wire adapters basically to get the information for the product. Okay, so I'll quickly give you a demo that what we are doing, because this is something is practical part. We can give you we have gone with the definition that what storefront API is and why we are using this. Do I have all of us with me so that I can give you the demo? We can connect that what we are doing. Okay, so we'll give you a demo then. I suppose that everyone know how to log into experience. Everyone here know about how to log in experience. Can I get a recall, and how can I log in experience? Anyone? Anyone from the audience? Not Abhishek. I want to log in into my B2B site. How can I do that? Okay. So I have one contact configured, and we'll go to this site. Either we can do this from the two parts only. Either we can log in from the login and registration part, or we can log in directly from in here from Salesforce. So I'm using my one contact which we already configured. So we have this B2B site. So now, as you can see, this is a pre-built site. We didn't add any of the configuration in this site. This is completely that Salesforce gave us. This navigation menu items, everything you see is completely configuration. I didn't add anything. For the storefront APIs, I created one button here for the example that how we are configuring this storefront APIs. Everything is under this button only. I created one component and everything is under this button. Okay. So now let's suppose I want to add something or I want to find something. This is what Salesforce offers us. So I'll quickly go to the product code and try to find a product. So I got a result on the medium roasted coffee. So we have one result here. So quickly what we can do, like suppose I do not want to use the Salesforce functionality, I want to use the storefront APIs to add this product into cart and delete the cart and want to place the order as well. So how we can configure with the help of these storefront APIs. Now we quickly go to this part. So this is a very small component I created, which will have the product SKU, which will take some quantity for the product, how many quantities we want to enter, and we'll have this add to cart button. As you can see on the screen, we have these three buttons created. These all three buttons are created with the help of storefront APIs only. We have created this in the LWC part. We are not using Apex for this part. So if I write the same SKU here, and let's just get the quantity as 1. Now let's see. When I click on this add to cart button, what will happen? So I only write this functionality first to just to add this product into the cart. Now what storefront API will give us in advantage is, when I click on this, you see here the cart icon got changed. I didn't configure for this one. So this is why we are using this storefront API. This is whole adding a product to a cart and placing an order is totally customizable with the help of these storefront APIs. Now if I go through this cart, see, we got this product added in the cart. Now we can do the checkout from here, or we can do this from the button we created. If I click on this checkout, this is the Salesforce button which Salesforce provides us. We have number of APIs, wherein too many APIs we are there. We can everything that Salesforce offers, we can do this as per our requirement. We have every API provided in the document that Salesforce offers us. So these are some delivery methods and payment methods. After filling this up, we'll able to create the order. Now let's suppose I do not want to get this order. I want to clear the cart, and again I want to add something in my cart. Now with the help of storefront APIs, again we have this clear cart button. What it will do, when I click on this button, it will remove this item from the cart. Okay, so it worked. So we do not have anything in the cart, and we can use any quantity we want. Either we want to use 10, 12, any quantity, whatever number we specify here, that much quantity of products will get added into your cart. If I write 7 products to the cart, we got this item 7. The quantity will be the same. The 7 quantity of this product will be got added into the cart. So this is see, this is totally customizable. As we want, we can do that. I created this simple component just to add one product to the cart. Now you can do that by your own. How many of products, or you can make a disable of this button, you can active this button, make a disable of this button as per your need. You do not want, if you want some minimum quantity that the product should have at least 7 or 5 quantity, that we can disable the button. So this is completely of the coding part for the LWC that we can configure also. I'm just showing you that how we can use this storefront APIs. And for this product SKU part, currently I'm using only the searchable field for SKU. I did not include the name part. As per your requirement, you can add anything as per your need. So if I click on this place order, currently we do not have any items in the cart. But if to check out for a product, if I write anything here, to use this button, we first need to do the checkout. The complete checkout information will be there. Then after we can only use this button, because there are certain configuration. If you are from the development side, you can understand you can relevant for this part that in the LWC, when I do this checkout, we have to make a cart active. After giving this checkout information, then only we can use in place order. You can see there is a one place order button is already here. This is one is Salesforce offers us. Now if I suppose that how this button is working now, if any of the button, that we have so many buttons in the B2B org, that if we got to know in the backend what is happening for this button. So these buttons are nothing but these are already using the storefront API, which are coded in Salesforce, because this is a pre-built functionality that Salesforce offers. This is the storefront API is only used to customize your component. If you want to do the more configuration for your components, for the requirement basically, because in the B2B we have a certain number of pages. We do not have one page, we have multiple pages for the home page, cart page, checkout page. We have multiple pages and multiple buttons. So we do not want to have the button on the side, on the page, actual page. We can have the page on the home button. Now how we going to configure that? We have to do some coding for that. Either we have to use the Apex, or we can do this via Storefront API. This is the major part of the Storefront API, why we are using this. So if I go through with the code part or the LWC part, how you gonna implement this? The developers or the admin can also relate this, that how we are using this. You can see that this is a very simple component that I created using the lightning inputs and lightning buttons. If I go through the JS file, that how you gonna use the Storefront APIs, because I'll show you. Whenever you go to the Storefront APIs and search for Storefront APIs, for the Salesforce recommended documentation, you'll go there. You'll see there are number of things which are written over here, and we have number of APIs. You can see the cart commerce activity API. Now, how you wanna use this in your LWC components? This is a certain method that you have to follow. That these are the coding parameters you have to follow. Then after only you can get a results. So there are number of APIs you can use, number of examples you can create by yourself for your practice part. So in the LWC, if I show you, I have imported some of the APIs like this. I have imported this add to item carts and delete cart. This is a way to import the APIs in your LWC part. This is how you want to import the APIs, and then after you will use this. So here, like on the handle click, so like we have the imperative APIs and wire commerce adapters. Now when I have to use the wire adapters, the wire adapters are only used to get the data. We'll return something from the wire adapter. We'll not use it just for the simple example. We do not use it to update something or insert something. We'll use it for to get the data, to get something in the return. We'll use that wire adapter only. Now let's suppose I want to do some insertion on the Apex side as per my need. So we use these imperative APIs. These are the basic difference in both of these. The wire only get the data, and these imperative APIs, which I have used this one, the add item to cart. You can see this is under a handle click. So it will work only after a click or something in different function, but not under a wire. So this is how we have configured. Whenever you use a Storefront API, you have to return a promise. The promise is a must. Whenever you use a Storefront API, you have to return a promise that will give us something related to the information. This is how we are using these Storefront APIs. So for your use, or you can try them by yourself. There are a number of APIs which you can use. As you can see, there are some very simply listed over here, and you can see every API returns a promise. You have to use a promise to get the results. So this is how we are using this Storefront APIs. That was a small session, I suppose, but just to note that what Storefront API is doing. So do we have all of us with me that know about something about the Storefront APIs? Let me get a count that how many of you will go to home and try this one. Number note कर लो यार, शाम को पूछेंगे. So do we have any questions now? The most. The UI record API, where you will use that one? UI record API will give you the record ID. Here we are not using the record ID. It is like that. They are very similar things. In Salesforce, we have very similar things. That also we just import whatever. Yes, there are many APIs. This is majorly for the LWR template. This is majorly for the B2B. We have major APIs. We are using the same import functionality. We have to rectify the field base that where we want to get the data. If you can see from the APIs, we have something here like whenever you do an import, you specify your location. So if I go to this JS file, you see this commerce API. This commerce API specify that this is the path from where I'll get this return. I'll get this data. This commerce give us this. Give us. We have one question.
So how is syncing the storefront with Salesforce? We need to write authentication.
How we are syncing Salesforce?
Syncing Salesforce product and orders.
They are already in sync. They are if your product is available in sync. So like see what happens in B2B. We have a product. Now I want to list that product on my B2B side. We have already covered that in previous sessions. I'll tell you. I have a product. I want to list that product into B2B side. It will work as same. Now I have to add this product in certain buyer groups. We have to add this product in an entitlement policy. We have a B2B graph that completely justifies that what B2B is doing. We have certain configurations that need to be done before listing some items on B2B site. The only product which is included in a commerce entitlement policy are only visible on this site, not all of us. That we have to configure.
So how we send that our product to storefront?
We do the configuration, go through the sessions, the previous ones. We have everything set up. I'll tell you, I have a product. I want to show this on the UI. We cannot show every product. Like Flipkart, every season we got new products. So how we gonna configure that? We use the buyer groups, we use the commerce policies. We have certain objects, we have to make a relation in between them. Then after only we can see the products on UI. You have to set up the complete org, then only will know that how we are doing this. Anyone else? Yes. In the result, which one? 27? 23. We are getting the results now. This is a promise. Every promise will return something. We have three functions, then catch finally. The then will return a result, the catch will return an error. We are getting the result. We can use the result as per we need. Not the information. If we are using add the card, yes. In the result part, you will get the information for the whatever field you mentioned. Like I use the SKU unit. So what I get in this return, I will get the ID of the product and the SKU of the product. This is for the backend purpose. So what we are getting, and if you can see, I use this in the result part. I have used this result ID and this product quantity. I'm using this because this is a API one. So I'm using this ID from this result. I'm getting the ID of the product, the major thing, which I need to do the further steps. Anyone else? Do I have anyone else? Okay, then we'll just wrap up with this session. I hope that was something insightful that you're gonna try this at your home. Only after you'll get something from this. Otherwise, that's all gone on the YouTube.